Hello and welcome, everyone. Hi. Hi, Vida.
Hi, Judy. Hi,
Hello.
Kristen. It's my Krista. Hi.
Roommate.
It's Kristen, my roommate.
Awesome.
Hi.
Hi, Krista. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to our Taurus full moon community ceremony. We are coming up on an incredible Taurus full moon tomorrow. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Judy Keating, and I get to work with the incomparable Bonnie Salomon. And our organization is called Wise Transformation. And we are two women intent on bringing feminine wisdom and elemental teachings back into everyday life. And for those of you that are here, you know that I post the recordings on our YouTube channel. But if you have someone that you think might enjoy this, you can refer them to the YouTube channel so they can watch as well. Look us up, Wise Transformation LLC. So today's program is going to be a tiny bit different than you might have seen because I am going to talk about upcoming events. We are going to call in sacred space. We are going to talk about the confluence of having a Scorpio sun and a Taurus moon and what that means. And our ceremonial guidance today is going to be energetic work that I do that is called Compassion Key. This is a type of work that allows you to give yourself compassion in a way that actually is energetically transformative. Now, I need to be very clear. Compassion Key is not psychological help, and I am not a therapist. So this energy session that I'm working with you on is intended to give you support in whatever way works for you. And your participation is totally voluntary. So I just have to say those things. And we'll be together about an hour. And I would absolutely love any feedback that you have as we're doing the session or anything that you want to share. So I do hope you'll feel comfortable participating. So the one thing I want to tell you about is in January, starting on January 5th, I am hosting a 6-week class called Life Purpose Mastery. It is a deep dive into your creation team, which are the archetypes of your astrology that help and guide you through your life and through your soul. And this particular class has a bunch of new information. If you've worked with me before, you may not have seen some of what I'm going to present, but it will give you a great understanding of how the archetypes and the elemental forces work together to help you. And if you want more details, if you just go to wisetransformation.com, you'll find full information about the class. So, first thing we do is to center ourselves and to allow for us to gather ourselves in the present moment. So, nature is a living field of creation, and we are a living field of creation. And we sometimes forget that. So, I just invite you to wiggle your toes and put your feet flat on the floor and feel the connection to what you perceive to be the floor that is connected to the earth. And I invite you to take a very deep breath and let it out, and you can have a sound if you want. And then I just invite Earth as our container, as our home, as nature that is ever evolving to join us in our call today. And water, the feeling realm, all of our emotions, which if you live in the United States have been all over the place for many different reasons. So we just invite the ebb and flow of water to be present, and the power of love and the power of self-love to be present today. And the power of air, the breath of life, the mental realm, our ability to envision, our ability to imagine, our ability to dream. We just call the unseen realm of air, which is so rich, to come in and allow a breath of fresh air through our life, through our body. And then we turn to fire, the sun, the warmth, the ability to move, the ability to grow, the agitation of light in a way that inspires. And then we call on spirit, whatever you perceive as divine to you, as sacred to you, as the ephemeral fifth element that actually animates all things. We just ask that spirit, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, the unified field, be with us today. And so it is. So we're at the point in the wheel where we have a Scorpio sun, and tomorrow will be the Taurus full moon. And they're actually opposite each other when you look at the wheel of astrology. That's why when we say opposite archetypes, that's what we mean. They just happen to be across the wheel from one another. And they each have unique energies. And with a full moon, it allows for the compare and contrast in our psyche and in our bodies. So Taurus is an earth sign, and it teaches the value of enjoying the earthly realm of matter. Really, Taurus is the archetype that helps us enjoy having a human body and senses that can perceive and receive from our five senses, seeing things that are beautiful, tasting things that are delicious, feeling the touch of a beloved. We learn to savor through the archetype of Taurus. It is the one that will take solid steps to fulfill desires for possessions, wealth, and security. But really, it's also about connecting to the divine through savoring and enjoying the body and the senses and the ability to be intimate with someone. And the sun is generally in Taurus from April 20th to May 20th. So that's when we have the full 30 days or 28 and a half days of Taurus time. But I'm going to show you a little bit more about Taurus. It loves receiving pleasure of the senses, and it often enjoys doing things with their hands or bodies, such as planting, building, giving massages, dancing, or bodybuilding, for a few examples. And Taurus has its own organic clock, meaning that it moves at its own pace. It's not someone with a Taurus, and I'm one of those people. I can get lost and am not as always diligent with the clock time. I try to be diligent for you all, but I love doing my own time because I have some Taurus in my chart. And it loves firsthand experience of the beauty and pleasure of the earthly realm, of which there is so much to enjoy. Scorpio, on the other hand, is a water sign, and it is in the eighth house, and it teaches the power of feelings and the full experience of the complete range of feelings, from icy and frozen to hot and steamy and everything in between. And Scorpio training is to learn to master the response to them rather than the reaction. But Scorpio has the power to be intense and passionate about discovering what lies well beneath the surface of current awareness. Scorpio can travel deep into the feeling waters to connect to source and use the treasures they discover there to generate life force in both myself and for other people. Scorpio has a potent intuition or sixth sense and an ability to travel into other realms of consciousness. And the sun is in Scorpio, generally from October 23rd to November 21st, which we are getting towards the end of, but we are definitely in it. Can you all feel the difference about having a Scorpio sun? Feelings are very, very heightened right now. Can you feel that? I'm looking at the two beauties that are choosing to be on screen with me for a little feedback. So they're nodding. So I appreciate you so much. Let's check the chat here. Oh, yes. Scorpio moon here. Oh, Anna, great. Yeah, you can really feel that. Thanks for the feedback, ladies. I really appreciate it. So Scorpio can dive deep. They can move into deep, dark water. The shaman who knows how to move in non-ordinary reality. In other words, the other realms that aren't 3D, the third dimension, the here and now. And shamans, or Scorpio, once they've done their own work, they carry the medicine of helping others through dark places, such as the dark night of the soul or transitioning to death. They can navigate on the edges and in the shadows, and they can uncover what is hidden. They often understand the death mysteries and they can be great hospice workers. They deal well with depression or addiction. And they may deal with it themselves and then they can help others with those issues. And they may choose to channel that energy effectively through being a support person for those people going through those experiences. So we're going to do something different today. I mentioned Compassion Key, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. But right now, I would just love it if you would just take a moment, close your eyes, maybe put your hand on your heart, and ask for whatever would be meaningful and restorative at this time. See what comes when you ask, what is meaningful? What would be meaningful and restorative to me right now? And just notice what comes. I know one of the things for me is I choose to drink a lot more water right now, but also to slow down. It feels like the appropriate thing to do to slow down. I just wanted to give you some examples. So just take a note. What support would be meaningful and restorative at this time? When you think you have an answer, if you could just give me a thumbs up or a done. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to wait till I get at least one done in the chat before we move on. Thank you so much, Anna. Okay. So on these calls, history has used it for the whole of the calls. We've used the Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle. I'm going to use the Oracle a little bit differently today. I'm going to show you the cards, and I'm going to set us up for what will be a shortish 25 minutes or so compassion key session. So Lisa Michaels invented these cards many years ago, and in the last 3 or 4 years, she put out a new version of the cards, but they're the same. If you have any of the Oracle decks, the words are the same. But you can, I just want to give a plug here, you can download the cards on your phone, which is a great thing to have. You can go to lisa-michaels.com to order a deck if you'd like, a physical deck, or it gives you directions on how to buy it from Deckable. It's really a great, great deck, as you'll see. So Earth is the physical realm. It's the tangible realm. It's your body, it's your possessions, it's really everything that you can physically touch that has a density to it. And of course, it's our planet, our home. So I'm going to put up the cards for Earth and just notice right now which card or cards, you can pick more than one. I'm going to use them later. We're not going to do the standard question format today. So I'm going to just leave the cards up there. Notice what cards get your attention. And make note of it. We'll use them in just a little bit. Huh. Is everyone seeing the cards on the screen? Oh, okay, there we go. Can you see them now, Anna? I'm sorry, Ann, Danner, can you see them? Okay, good. Thank you. So just notice which one or two is calling to you. And do me a favor and make note of it. Write it down if you want to. You're going to need it later.
Judy, is it okay if I take from my cards?
Of course you can.
And some is minute here.
If you have a deck, please feel free to use your own. This is just so everybody has access to the cards. That's why we do it this way. All right, so that's the physical realm. Water is the emotional realm. It's the feeling realm. It's our subconscious. It's our deep water and our everyday emotions that we have. It is very multidimensional water. Oops. So this next set of cards is for water. And just notice what card or cards. We ask what would be restorative and helpful. So what do you notice? Okay. Now we're going to move to the mental realm. That's where we perceive things. It's where we make sense of things. It's where we have our intelligence. There's so many different aspects to the mental realm. Before I move on, I'm just checking the chat. Thank you, Anne. Anne says, dropped all my cards needing surrender. Yep, I get it. That's beautiful. Thank you, Anne. All right, so we're going to just turn our attention to the air realm. What kind of support do you need? Oh, Kristen says, I pulled surrender too. I'm sensing a theme because I was looking at that one. In the air realm, what do you notice? I'm going to pause here. If anybody needs more time, if you let me know, otherwise I can move on. But I just wanted to make sure everybody has an earth card, a water card, and an air card before we move on.
Um, Julia, is it one card or two?
It can be one or two, whichever you feel you would
Oh,
like.
hmm. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to move to fire. Fire is the transformation realm. It's the action realm. It's where we move forward from. It's our life force. It's our energy. So just notice which ones jump out at you or which ones are you pulling from your deck. Just notice what fire card or cards want to be part of your support team today. And now we move on to the spirit realm, the divine, that which is bigger than us, what supports us and enlivens us in whatever way is true for you. And just notice, what is spirit telling you to be with today, to have as your circle of support? Okay, so if you have your cards, I'm going to ask you to look at them in this next part of the exercise, but I wanted to explain a little bit what we're going to do. So this is an energy modality called compassion key. And it is a modality that puts you in a position where you can give compassion to yourself. And you can also give yourself love and support, and um, kindness would be another word I would use. And it is a modality that was founded by a man by the name of Edward Mannix. And um, it can work with many different aspects of self. And if you live in the United States or if you live in the world, you know that in the last 10 days, there's been a huge shift. And I know there are some people who are happy about that shift, and I'm not dismissing them in any way. But I know there are many people who are not and are suffering. So the compassion key technique allows you to give yourself compassion for when you feel things that are very difficult to traverse in a way that works beyond what I can explain. And it is a technique that I have trained in for 2 years. And I just wanted to offer an experience of it today. So um, the technique invites you to say the words, I am so sorry that. And I am so sorry is intended as a phrase of compassion for self. We're not going to invite anyone else other than a version of you that has suffered a disappointment, that has had a hard time. And so if the election isn't an area where you feel like you've had that experience, I invite you to pull on another experience where you might have had disappointment or sadness or grief. Because what we're all going to do collectively is we're going to invite in our highest self. Now, when I say that, some people are like, what is that? But really, it is the part of you that is the eternal soul that understands more than the human part of you does and can hold space for that human part of you and can provide support. So when I say invite in your highest self, you might see white light. You might see something bigger than you come behind you to support you. You might feel like you're sitting in a cozy chair as they come to wrap their arms around you, to hold you. And with that higher self now with you to support you, I'm going to ask you to imagine the part of you that either in recent days or from another experience has felt despair, has felt sadness. And I want you to imagine that that version of you is standing across from you in a circle that you draw. And if you don't see anything or it seems like I'm saying something that doesn't make a lot of sense, just imagine what that version of you might look like if nothing comes up. And I want you to notice what that version of you looks like. And what do I mean? I don't know how old they are. They could be present day. They might be a little younger. They might have a body position that is different than you hold yourself now. They might have a look on their face, or you might just sense energy over there. So just notice what you notice in this circle that we've imagined across from you. And imagine from your heart and your solar plexus, with the support of your highest self, you are sending love and compassion to that part of you that has suffered a loss, that is feeling sad or feeling scared or feeling uncertain. You just want to send that part of you, that version of you, love and compassion and acceptance. And you can imagine it's like streaming over to them directly from your heart and your solar plexus. And I have written down some phrases that came to me when I've tapped into the group. And here's what I'm going to say about it. I'm going to say a phrase and I'm going to invite you to say that phrase out loud. So if you are not muted, I'm going to invite you to mute because we're not going to have your voices all come on the recording. I'm going to say the phrase and I'm going to give you time to say the phrase if you choose. I really invite you to say this out loud. You will begin to feel shifts in your body. I don't know how this works, ladies. I just know that it works. So again, just imagine you're sending love and compassion and acceptance and kindness to that version that's across from you in a circle that you've drawn. And we're just going to try this for a few phrases and see what you notice. And we'll do a check-in. I am so sorry you are exhausted. I am so sorry that othering is toxic to you. I am so sorry that you feel lost. I am so sorry that you are sad. And if you say any of these phrases and you don't notice anything, just know that's perfectly normal. Not every phrase is going to make you feel something and some will. I am so sorry that you are scared. I am so sorry that humanity feels divided. I am so sorry that you have lost hope. And you're saying this from your highest self to the version across from you, these phrases. And you just want to check in and notice, do you feel anything in your body or do you notice anything about them across from you? See if there's any kind of a shift. And not everyone will have a shift and there's no attachment, but it's a good thing to take note of. If you feel body sensations, if you feel movement, if you feel energy shifts, if you want to tear up, so we're going to try a few more phrases. I am so sorry that you are soul weary. I am so sorry there's not enough room and time to grieve and rest. I am so sorry. It is hard to know where to turn. I am so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry. There's not enough kindness. I am so sorry. You can't catch your breath. I am so sorry things are moving so fast. I'm so sorry the future is not what you thought it would be. I am so sorry. The multitude of feelings is so intense. I am so sorry you want to give up. I am so sorry you are enraged beyond comprehension. I just want to be very clear. Saying I am so sorry for those very intense feelings. I am not trying to dismiss them. I'm actually trying to recognize them. I am so very sorry that it feels like one step forward, four steps back. Remember to send love and compassion to that version of you that is dealing with whatever you decided, the version of you in the circle across from you. sending them love and compassion and speaking to them in this way helps to move the emotion so that you can feel your feelings. That's what we're trying to do today, is to feel our feelings. Now, everybody's situation is unique, so I want to invite you. You all have the capacity to do this. I just got us rolling, so you know what it feels like. Is there anything that you would like to say to that version across from you? And you don't need to share. You can say whatever you want for that part of you that's been through a lot. I just really invite you to send love and compassion. Your highest self is here to assist you to do that at a very pure level. And using the phrase, I am so sorry, just acknowledges the pain. So I'm just going to give you a minute or two to, if you'd like, to say whatever you would like to that version of you. So before we turn our attention to the cards, because they do have a purpose, is there anyone who would like to put anything in the chat about how you're feeling, or did anything shift for you? Is there anything you'd like to put in the chat? And there's no requirement. Just going to give you a chance to express. And you can unmute if you like. Okay, just another minute. Let the work we've done so far move through you. And when you have a chance, pull your cards closer, because they're going to be different for each person. Oh, somebody put something in the chat. Let me look. Ah, thank you, Anna. Thank you. She says she rescued her energy from a past situation. Yes. Brilliant. Brilliant way to use this technique. So I want you to go ahead and look at your Earth card. And just imagine that you're giving the Earth card as a gift to that version that's across from you. And you're going to say this phrase, which is a little different. Sorry, I want to keep up with the chat. Felt some pain in my back and pressure in my heart. Now I feel relieved and freed, or free. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, that's what this is for. Excellent work. So you don't always have to say, I'm so sorry, but you can say things like, I am glad to remind you that whatever your Earth card is can support your physical body right now. So everybody's Earth card might be different. So I am so glad to remind you, you're saying that to that version of you across in the circle, that whatever your Earth card says can support your physical body right now. And just let her receive that gift. And only when you're ready, look at your water card. Just do a pause here. So whatever your water card says, you can imagine you're handing it to her and you're saying, I am so glad you remembered that feelings need to move, and whatever your water card is here to help. Just notice that version of you might look different than she did in the beginning. Okay, now you're going to look at your air card. And imagine you're giving it to her, and your phrase is, I'm so sorry you forgot, whatever your air card is, can assist you to have more mental resilience. Just notice if these phrases help her to feel a little better. They may. Everybody's experience is different. And when you're ready, look at your fire card. You can give it to a gift to that beautiful version of you and say, I'm so grateful that whatever your fire card is here to be sure you know your rhythm will return when you are ready. I'm going to say that one again because it was longer. I'm so grateful that whatever your fire card is here to be sure you know your rhythm will return when you are ready. And then lastly, you want to take a peek at your spirit card. And as a final gift to that version of you that has suffered, I'm so relieved to know that Spirit has your back with whatever your spirit card says to ease your suffering. I'm so relieved to know that Spirit has your back with blank to ease your suffering. So I just want to ask again if anyone wants to share, how's everybody doing? Did you notice a shift of any kind? And no one has to share, just an opportunity. Oh, thank you, Bina. Relief. Yeah, beautiful. Great work. Realize it's you who did the work. Oh, thank you, Vita. Thank you very much. She says, I love the approach with the cards to the compassion key. That's a brand new thing I just came up with. I wanted to incorporate the cards in there as good things because they are. Nature's going to help us through this. Absolutely. Okay, well, oh, too. Anna says, loving it too. We have a sister from Brazil with us today, which is so nice. It's always nice to have sisters around the world who join us for these calls. So, I do offer this technique, and I can do it for individuals or groups like this. And it is my intent to offer things like this more often on especially on our full moons, I think. The new moon calls will probably have the same format they've had in the past where we journal and come up with our own intentions, but I want to start adding some new things in. Oh, Kristen, I began with hard in my heat in my throat and sensation in my chest. And by then I had tears in my eyes. I feel a shift and really enjoy this technique. So beautiful. Judy, thank you. Well, thank you, Kristen. You do such beautiful work in the world um, with the somatic feminine work that you do. But I definitely wanted to offer this to our community today. And I thank you all for being here live. It really adds to the experience. But just know that I'm also going to be doing some free recordings that I'll be putting on our website with different themes for this kind of work because I feel like it's really helpful. Um, but we will be doing them on some calls. Oh, thank you, Anne. Got your message. Thank you. Okay, so next time we are going to meet for the new moon in Sagittarius. And the new moon in Sagittarius is actually on December 1st. So we're going to gather on Thursday, November 30th at this same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard US, for the Sagittarius new moon community ceremony. But I thank you all very much for being here. If you're listening to the recording, I hope you said the phrases out loud and that you feel relief from whatever might be burdening you today. And I do hope you will give feedback if you want anything in particular. I had a very nice person share that they liked the CCT sessions as well, so we'll be adding that in. And there's going to be some light group coaching, I think, coming too with some of these calls around the full moon for sure. So just know that things are going to get a little different. It's time for a refresh. And yeah, bye. Bye for now. Love to all of you. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Nice to have a guest today. Thank you.
Anytime.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.